Oh, really?
There you go.
Yeah.
I like it.
Oh, and my brothers. We all got stuck with that nickname.
You see the Fannie Mae piece, Laura?
Why no?
Why no?
Not yet.
It's there.
Isn't it? It's Swingruber or Ruber?
Swingruber.
Yeah, that works.
Gruber?
Either way.
I see Gruber law offices.
Well, or here's the other thing. People said Swingruber. Like
Yeah.
whatever you want to. That's what I mean. Like I don't.
You're not picky about it.
I'm not picky. Whatever's easiest.
Okay.
For you guys.
All I get is the X at the end usually. I think I'm related to Jimmy.
Hendricks?
Jimmy.
But
Oh.
I'm not.
Right.
Dang it.
Name association. It helps us remember things, right?
Yes, it does. Yeah, when you meet people, you have to kind of pick something out that
Uh-huh.
is different
There we
for
are.
them.
I'm so bad at names, but honestly, the older I get, the more I'm like, you know what? I don't remember your name. I'm sorry.
I'm really
just
good
honest
with
about it.
faces, Yeah.
Yeah. Don't get mad at me. I'm sorry. I don't remember.
I'm bad at names too.
Yeah,
I mean,
so-
I was,
No. And even like at the complex, like I will know the people by their apartment number, but I will not remember their name.
There you go. Hey, number 6451.
Yeah.
How are you today?
Yeah.
Hopefully
Alright.
that's not the world we're moving into, huh?
Right.
Just waiting for the song to go and then we'll rock and roll.
5 billion in profits in quarter two.
1 minute.
Ah.
What's that, Laura?
Fannie Mae netted 5 billion in profits.
5 billion.
Did you send it to your wife?
So tell me why they had to change the pricing structure.
There you go.
Oh, don't get me started on these yahoos. Continued strength of home prices. Yeah.
You should take one with the both of us.
I will. Our PR people want that.
Okay.
I'll get one for you too. Don't let me forget.
Josh Woolrich? Woolrich? How do you say that name?
Woolrich, right? For Josh?
Woolrich?
Yeah. Woolrich.
Woolrich.
Woolrich. Okay. Got that one.
Hello, this is Bill Baker, host of the Sun Prairie Real Estate Show, found right here on 103.5 FM, The Sun, every Wednesday at 11 a.m. Hey, when I'm not on the radio, I'm working with folks just like you to help them buy and sell homes. I'm proud to say that my team, the Baker Realty Group, has been helping people buy and sell homes.
Should I
here in Sun
prepare
Prairie
them? You're going to tell him to
for
eat the
over 10
microphone?
years. Information about
He just
buying and
does.
selling a home is available
All
on
the
my
time.
website, thebakerrealtygroup.com, on Facebook by searching the Baker Realty Group. or
Wow,
by
monthly
calling
rent.
608-575-6731.
Monthly rent, ouch.
No, that's theirs. Your place.
Oh, rent is crazy though. And again, so are home prices. Everything. Interest rates.
Hey, good morning, everybody, and welcome to a beautiful Wednesday morning. I'm Bill Baker, your host, and you're listening to the Sun Prairie Real Estate Show right here on 103.5 WLSP in beautiful Sun Prairie, better known as the Sun. We're underwritten by those wonderful folks at the Bank of Sun Prairie, the Baker Realty Group, and of course, Wintrust Mortgage. Hey, this morning we've got a great discussion that's going to happen about the market and what's going on in Sun Prairie. I think you're going to be impressed. If you've been watching the news, shake your head real hard, maybe even bang it against the wall, because we're going to show you the real numbers and show you why living in Sun Prairie is so beneficial to you. And if you've just bought a house from January to now, you're really going to be excited about this. And Laura's going to talk. We're going to talk about Fannie Mae and the billions of dollars that they're making in the second quarter, I think, of this year. And then we're going to give you an alternative. We're going to tell you about a project that's going on right now in Sun Prairie. You know it as Heyday, the Heyday project, out off of Bird and Egri, which is right around the corner from where I live. I really love the big bike paths, by the way. Just going to say that out loud. That was kind of cool of them to do that. So we're going to show you, and using these folks as an example of why it can be an advantageous move to sell and move into a property like Heyday, and make it a huge benefit for you. That's what I know. But before we get started, got to talk to the wonderful lady, the lender extraordinaire, the all-knowing, the omnipotent, the beautiful Laura Stanfield.
Do you think anybody's really buying any of that? I mean, good morning.
Well, nobody's
How are
listening
you?
anyway, except for mom and dad, and my mom's dead, so I got one person, you know.
Aw, more people than that
Well, maybe two.
usually listen. Maybe not now, but later.
Maybe less later, you think?
Anyway, you want me to talk about the topic of conversation since the beginning of the year?
Oh my, well,
What are interest rates doing?
No. Well, we woke up this morning and we had the really good news coming from, who's it coming from? It's not the Fed. Coming in and saying, well, we really suck when it comes to credit.
Right?
Well, it does.
Yes, for those of you who don't know, our credit system has been downgraded. And for the first time in like a couple decades, maybe more than that. So it's a big thing, and the market is negatively reacting to it, of course, because it's not good news.
Well, this isn't the first time
No.
it's been downgraded. I mean,
No.
we took
It's been a
another
long
nosedive.
time, though.
And what's going on? I mean, why? Why?
Part of it has to do with the debt ceiling. That's why it happened last time, and this one back around again. There's a lot of things that play into it, but
That's your short version?
yeah.
This was going to be
That's
like an
my-
hour discussion about that.
No, it wasn't.
Your short
It's about these
version.
guys today, not about that. No, that's the Cliff Notes version. How about that?
So we're sitting at 7%
Ish.
ish. Yeah, we're a little over.
Maybe higher,
Yeah.
because right when I left, I got an alert to lock, and when that comes in, it means market's going nutty right now. So
Lock
you
it
might
in.
want to lock it before it gets worse.
Get everybody
Is what
locked.
that notification means. Yes.
Right.
So, yeah, that's what's going on today.
You know,
but
I wish we had those notifications for sellers that I could send out.
alert to sell.
Sell now.
Yeah.
Sell
Right.
now.
Buyers, alert to buy. Don't get scared.
Oh, no, buyers are buying. I mean, they're out there. They'll take whatever they
Beg to
can
differ.
get.
A lot of
What?
people have left the market
Well,
because of rates, because of competition, because it's hard.
well, you're going to see here, and what we're going to
It
talk
is
about,
hard.
that
Yeah.
in this current market right now, the competition's still there.
Yeah.
50%
Just not as
of
much.
every sold transaction in July
Competing
had a competing
offers.
offer on it.
Yeah.
And so
Yeah.
they're still there. It's that those buyer buttons that you have to push once in a while. You have to have that conversation. You need to buy now.
Yeah.
Buy now.
You know what surprises me about this market? Down payment assistance, we talk about that sometimes.
What are we doing with that? I mean, should we be having or investing more in down payment assistance?
Well, the city of Sun Prairie is.
Well, the question is, should we? I mean, I sit on that commission,
Yeah.
and the
We
housing
should.
commission. We should. Tell me why. How's it
We
going to
should.
benefit somebody that can't afford a house?
Wow, you're part of the problem. That comment right there is part of the problem.
Well, you tell
So-
me. I pimped you on that one.
All right, so down payment assistance does a lot of things. Yes, it helps people who don't have down payment money, but don't make judgments because rent is high. We're going to talk about that. Student loan payments, they've been in forbearance, but not anymore. So when you have payments that are rising, inflation that's rising, rents that are high, it's just been hard for people to save money for down payment. It doesn't mean they're not ready. There's a lot of people who have excellent credit, not a lot of debt, but they just have not been able to save. So it helps that, but it also helps with affordability. So like if somebody could, city of Madison, let's say somebody could get $50,000, and that is a thing. That's not exaggerated. That's two price ranges that could help people bump up a bit and afford more house, and maybe not something that needs a ton of work that they can't afford to fix.
Okay.
So there's a lot of reasons, or maybe people are close but they need a little bit of help with closing cost assistance or escrow or who knows what. It helps cover those things too. So
And
all
so
kinds of reasons.
why is it an advantage, or why is it important for the taxpayers of Sun Prairie to invest in that?
Well, it's not the taxpayers of Sun Prairie, it's usually federal funding dollars that come in.
It is.
And they
Sure.
are, that's where I was going with this. I'm surprised in this market that we are experiencing this, but a lot of the programs are running out of money or out of money in this market. How's that possible? I'm surprised offers are getting accepted because it's hard with down payment assistance. But there's a statewide program that we've hung on to funds for, completely gone now, exhausted.
Gone.
They've just been used, yeah.
Which one?
Realtors Association funds.
Right.
They had to have a fundraiser to try to raise more funds because they've been out.
That's why my dues went up.
No, you have an option to put money into that. You can't be forced to do it. But they did a fundraiser anyway to raise more money for that because they've been out of funds for a while. So anyway, it's just curious to me that in such a challenging competitive market where we're hearing cash is king or you have to come in with no contingencies, down payment assistance money is running out.
Yeah. Well,
It will be replenished again, but we usually have to wait till January, till the federal government fills the pool again with more funds.
and with Lisa, almost, I called you Lisa.
What?
What? Lisa
How
has
long
been
have
around
I known
forever.
you?
For a gazillion days.
The other Lisa.
The other Lisa.
Yeah.
As Laura was talking about yes, the city of Sun Prairie will be presenting to the housing committee, which again I'm a part of. I sit on that committee, thanks to the mayor. And so we'll be reviewing that and then raising our hand to whether move it on to the council of the whole and then approval by the city council. There's several other items that are on there. Here's what I want you to do. If you would like to be a part of it, you're welcome to join us on Monday night. I want to say at 6:30 we start, and you can be there. You can also have public comment if you'd like. The other thing is you can watch it on KSUN and see what's going on, and always text me your questions if you have one. I like to do that to Steve Stalker and Brent Iceburner and Terry McElroy, who's our president. I mean, or Bob Yokish. I'm texting him while they're at council. I'm like, don't vote that.
They're like, I'm trying to pay attention. Would you stop?
Well, then I'd say I am paying attention. That's why I don't want you to vote for this or whatever.
Goodness, who knows?
Well, I mean, at
what's
least you're
going
not FaceTiming them, so.
Well,
What's that?
At least you're not FaceTiming them.
What? Oh, that's
That's a good idea,
you
right?
just gave him an idea. What'd you do that for? Oh, man.
My 84-year-old dad says to me the other day. Now he has phones on my account. He says to me, "Do you know how to do FaceTime?" I'm like, "Dad, I have a Droid. You have the Apple because my sister told you to get the Apple because it was easier to use." I really like that FaceTime thing. Maybe you should go get an Apple. And I'm like, no, I don't like sour apples.
There's
Wait
other things
till
you
he
can
starts complaining that your texts are green and not blue, and he's really part of the Apple ecosystem.
He just needs to learn how to return a text when I text him because he likes to take his hearing aids out and then you can't have a conversation with him. Or you can, it's like, what? What?
Put your hearing aids in.
I know. Hey, let's talk about the what's going on in July because this is our first show after the end of the month, and it's pretty interesting, folks. I'm going to tell you because when we're going to talk about Fannie Mae, and you're going to see where you're going to hear where pricing has gone up 5% over the last 6 months. Nationally, well, we're up stronger than that. And so, as you and I have discussed with everybody, Laura, real estate is local, and then we throw the other thing in there. It's hyper local. Mm-hmm. And what we mean by that is the numbers and information we're giving you today is the city of Sun Prairie, not Windsor, Miss Kristina, not Windsor, or DeForest, or outside of the city. So Bristol is not a part of this. So this is where it's more important to do it this way because that way you have an exact idea when you're shopping or if you're going to sell what's going on. So let's get into it and let's chat a little bit about this. Now, the number of homes that went on the market for July was down 30%, but solds were still at 32, which dropped to 23%. This is comparable to same month last year. Average price was $442,281. Get this, 10%, 10.4 rounded up to 10.5%, and that's not a bad investment. Why is that not a bad investment? Because if you finance the house, you put $20,000 in, you just made $44,000. So you're making money off somebody else's money, which is really kind of cool. The percent of price, 102.9, 103%. What that means is that the houses, on average, are selling at 103% over the asking price. So if you're going to place an offer, they're going over. But there's more to that story, and we'll get to it. If you look on Zillow or Realtor.com and all those sites I don't want you to look at, you will see that there are 56 homes on the market, 35 are available, and right now there are 19 new construction. The number changed since I printed this. And of that 19, there are actually only 7 new construction available. The rest are ghost. They're ghost. And what that means is that they are not there. They are an idea, thought they'll be built back in September, October, November, whatever. They're going to build that. So there are 16 existing homes, which gives us a total of 23 homes on the market that you could go buy today. Today, just 23. And in comparison, over the years, that number has been in the 50s and 60s. So, yeah, it's getting kind of crazy. New construction, the 19 they're listed, the median price is $583,950. That went up 25,000 or 25% over last year. And believe it or not, in the entire month of July, only 1 new construction was sold. Blew me away. I couldn't.
Really?
That's hard to believe.
Mm-hmm.
$520,000 on that. Now, I want to get into this a little bit more because if everybody that watches the show, listens to the show, and calls into the show, sorry, it happens. I mean, all I have to do is
Every time.
get on the show and
Yep.
somebody calls me.
Yep.
They call me. They have
Yep.
to do it. Well, at least they're calling, you know. But it's my wife and wants me to bring home milk. No, come on.
She knows better than that. It is not.
I'm a newlywed.
Or it's your dad. He wants you to get an iPhone.
But
Right.
exactly. Oh, Brian,
Could
don't
be.
do it. That's right.
I've got my hearing aids and I want to talk.
Right. Now we have, you know how I go down rabbit holes and all this, and I
yeah.
love to do this. I have the data. You're always welcome to the data. I didn't give you guys copies of this. I apologize. You have it.
Which
though.
part?
This one here. You're gonna like this. So what happens in our market right now is if you have a house that's under $300,000, what you're gonna do is you're gonna find out that you're gonna get picked on the most. Those houses right now are selling about 9% over. We're having an average of $25,000 over the asking price. So to give you an idea, Davidson, the home of 124 Davidson Drive, sold at $41,000 over the asking price, and 13%, which is concerning to me because it tells me that should have been the price to begin with. Well, especially if I look at the cost per square foot of $176.80 per square foot. It tells me that should have been the correct price. Why they didn't price it that way, I can't tell you, but I know that there are realtors out there, and yes, I'm picking on my brethren that are playing what I call the bidding game, and they think that it looks good to have 20 bids come in on a house, and I always argue with that. All I need is one bid or one offer, and if I get the number that is the market value or higher, then I'm happy about it. So that Davidson house market value was not $299. It was much higher when I did the homework on it. So where I'm going with this is it's really important if you're selling your house, put it at market value and let it go from there. If your idea is to get market value or higher, I think if you do this bidding game, you have a chance of leaving money on the table and not getting what you want. The example that we used last week on this was I had a transaction down at Lake Mills. The list price was $425, and the buyer, we came in with a cash deal, closed in 7 days. We'd even let the seller stay there till the end of August, and they immediately, the agent's comment was, well, will you take a counter offer? I said, well, you told me you have no other offers. Well, we were hoping for higher. We're hoping for $450. Well, $450, why didn't you price it at $450? And her exact words, well, we wanted to see if we could run the numbers up. In my pricing, before we wrote the offer, the value was $465. Got a counter offer by that agent for $450,000. We bought it for $440. So the moral of the story is they probably would have gotten $465 if they priced it correctly. Because they didn't, they did not. My seller was tickled. She was a little upset, first of all, being a cash offer and then being ignored, as she felt. And she almost pulled away and didn't buy it after we'd looked at 25, 30 houses. And so she hung in tight, and we got it, and she's up. I think you're up $25,000. Oh my gosh, when she bought this house. How many homes can you buy today, Laura, where you walk into equity of $25,000? Not many. So if you look down even further, if I break it into 300,000 price range, and by the way, in the 200 price range, 66% had competing offers. In the 300 price range, 61% of all sold had 61% of competing offers. And the higher we go, the less over asking it happened. It decreases. So we had 9.3% over in the first group. Now we're at 3.4. Cost per square foot of $204 a square foot, which we're getting closer to that new construction kind of price, and or an average of 12,000 over. There were some that were sold less than asking, 3 of them. But interesting. Move into the 400 category, and again we dropped down about 3.5% over asking. There are a couple in there that took some nice nose dives. Golden Wing Court had a discount of almost $20,000. So, and if I go higher, they're negative numbers. If I get into the 500s and higher, those are all being sold below the asking price. There's a couple that are in there that were a little over, but not much. And so here's what I want you to know from this. Why am I telling you this? Because if you don't have somebody in your court that has the experience, it's not your somebody that's a friend of yours that has a real estate license, or a family member that's a real estate agent, but you need somebody that can break the numbers down like this and let you know what's going on in the market. And it's the same with anything out there, but I will tell you that I think about 95 and higher percent of the agents don't know this. They don't take the time. Now, I happen to love numbers. I enjoy spreadsheets. I can stay on spreadsheets all day and find all these different things. I know it makes Laura throw up, but it does. But
Kind of does.
It does. But the thing you need to know, if you want to make more money, you got to get the person that knows how to make the money. If you want to buy right, you need to have somebody in your camp that knows what the numbers are. Give you an example. If you're looking in that 500,000 range, and there's this trend through all the media and everything that's telling you that everything's selling over asking price, so you come in 20,000 over, but in reality it's selling below asking, you just, it was a disservice. It was a huge disservice. So how about that? Now I can take a breath for a minute.
You good?
I'm good. I was exercising before I got here. I'm pumped.
Exercising your breath?
Yeah, I try to do that too.
Okay.
Brush my teeth at least.
Good to know.
I know, just say.
Yeah. Great.
Hey, let's talk about Fannie Mae, and then I want to get into Heyday. Fannie Mae notches a $5 billion in profits in the second quarter, and they're still talking about a recession. Now, Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac are government-sponsored entities. They're not owned by the federal government, and they're also publicly traded companies. And you might have heard Laura say before, they had a recent fee increase. What was that for?
So the way
Is that
interest...
just to look at paperwork or something?
It's just to complicate things for people. It's the way interest rates are determined. It used to be that somebody would say, what's the rate on a 30-year fixed? And we could say, it's this, and it applied to everybody. But then out of the housing crash, they changed all that. And it was a matrix that lenders have to go by. So your property type, your credit score, down payment, those things factored into what your rate was going to be. So it was not any longer a one-size-fits-all. Then, was it 3-4 months ago? Can't remember. They changed it again, and it used to be that when it came out of the housing crash, they were looking for a 740 credit score. Then they bumped it up to 780. So I find that interesting because when I was reading in this, it said the average score is 756. Where did I see that? 752. So, right? How come they want to charge more if you don't have a 780? What's going on there?
I don't know how many people have a 780 credit score.
Well, a lot of people do. But what bothers me is that they're charging more money for stuff.
Well, exactly.
So,
Hey, stockholders are happy.
well, yeah.
Stockholders
And isn't
are
it
happy.
all about the stockholders?
Well, it is.
It is, right.
It says here, executives attributed the swollen, I like this word,
Swollen.
the swollen profits.
Yeah, interesting word.
Why is it swollen? Swollen, you know.
Inflated, is that what they're
Not
saying
it shouldn't
in
be
another
inflated.
way?
I mean, they make money. They're a business. They're a business.
Yeah.
They're a business.
They're a business?
They're a business. They attribute the swollen profits to the continued strength of home prices, which have risen 5% in the first 6 months of the year. In fact, Fannie Mae is no longer predicting a decline in home prices, and we're proving that with Sun Prairie. The government-sponsored enterprises forecast now calls for a 3.9% home price increase this year through a recession, though a recession is still in the cards. Now, if we looked at year-to-date, we're up 9.5% Sun Prairie in price, just to let you know. Just to let you know.
Why would they not have been expecting home price appreciation? The big issue is inventory.
It's inventory.
So how would appreciation decrease if we
Yeah.
have a major inventory, nationwide inventory issue? I don't understand that, but anyway.
I like this. Chrissy Haley, Fannie's chief financial officer, said, "Our economy and strategic research group expects the economy will enter a modest recession in the fourth quarter of this year or the first quarter of next year."
Ooh,
Why didn't she
predictions
just
out
say
there.
in the future? I mean, I love you. You're like weather
She needs
people.
to be specific.
I tell Charlie Shortino this all the time. You never have to be right. All you have to say is, "There's a 50% chance."
Mhm.
It
She
might
didn't
rain
even
today.
say 50% chance. She said there will be, right?
Right, I know.
Expects the economy will enter.
Exactly.
Yeah.
The average single-family conventional guarantee book of business. Now, what is that? Do you know what that is?
What are you asking? Book of
It says
business?
average single-family conventional guarantee book of business in the second quarter of 2023 declined 1.4 billion from the first quarter of 2023, driven by acquisition volumes from volumes being lower than the loan paydowns during the quarter. That was
So
great.
basically, my take on it is fewer people are refinancing.
Okay.
People are buying, but purchase prices are higher and loan amounts are higher.
Yeah.
So they're making more money because of the increased prices.
Mm-hmm.
And the people that are refinancing, which are not very many, but their loan amounts are also higher because they're consolidating debt.
Yeah.
There's a lot being talked about with regard to blended rates.
Mm-hmm.
And letting go even of your 3% interest rate, let's say, go into a 7, but because you're blending a home equity line rate that might be 9 or 10% and credit card interest rates that are in the mid 20% range. So debt is increasing.
Sure.
It's stressing people out. They don't want it. Credit card payments are higher. HELOC payments are higher if you're in repayment. So they're like, what do we do? Fine, I'll let go of my 3%. I'll do 7 because overall I'm saving money.
Oh, you're saving big time. So one of the things I liked in this article by James Kleiman was it says purchase acquisition volumes, 45% of which was for first-time home buyers. 45% increased to 76 billion from 56 billion in the first quarter. And here's your part. Refinance acquisition volume was 12.8 billion in the second quarter, up from 11 billion in the first quarter. So there were some refis going on.
It's just sheer volume.
It has to be.
The loan sizes
Yeah.
are larger now, not more transactions, but higher volume.
So if you're not a stockholder, by the way, to buy a share of Fannie Mae, it's like 45 cents. Do you know that?
No.
Yeah,
really?
they're worth about $68 billion. By the way, they don't loan money. They underwrite the loan. They don't, yeah. But they gotta
Well,
have
they're
the
the
years in there.
investor behind the loan.
But they're
so
government sponsored.
government sponsored.
68, did I say $68 billion company?
Yeah, so what they did basically, I don't know if I finished that, they decided, this was the Biden administration, decided to spread the risk from the lower credit score borrowers that were having to pay a ton of money in points or a higher interest rate to be able to get into a home. They were trying to make it more affordable for that demographic and then spread the risk into the higher credit score borrowers so that you're paying more unless you have a 780 credit score, unless you've got, this is the crazy thing. So right now if you put 5% down versus 10 or 15, you get a better rate. Putting less down, you get a better rate. unless you can put like 35% down. It's crazy. So we have, like, spreadsheets make me throw up, so does Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac's matrices, they make me want to barf, but they are what they are. We can't avoid them. So it really does depend on credit score. Debt ratio actually is another thing they were trying to toss in there, but we're like, how do you manage that? Because we try to go by the least amount of income possible to make it simpler on the end of the bar. You know, like, we don't want to have you document everything if we don't have to. So, but now we have to, because we have to get you under this debt ratio thing, or you pay a higher rate. The whole thing is convoluted and crazy. But the debt ratio issue got pulled back because lenders were fighting back, like, give us a break, enough. So anyway, can you tell I'm a huge fan of Fannie and Freddie?
No.
Is it coming across?
No.
But we need them. They are what are behind the conventional mortgages nationwide.
Well, it makes it more convenient that way to have Freddie and Fannie. But the banking system could change that. The federal government could change it where they're underwriting loans directly with lenders.
Well, the lender is underwriting the loan, but they are the investor behind the scenes, because lenders cannot keep a ton of 30-year fixed rate mortgages on their books. It's just not feasible.
Well, they can't because of the banking standards.
Right.
And
It doesn't
their
work.
loan and debt ratios.
So we need them.
Right. Well.
Yeah, it's a love-hate
Currently.
relationship really that we have.
Currently. We get China in here or something.
No,
Oh, they're probably there anyway.
probably.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
Okay,
sorry
and
about that.
let's talk about that.
Okay. Hey, now I've told you a few minutes ago that I'm on the housing committee for Sun Prairie. Very proud to be a part of that and sharing your visions, your thoughts, your ideas about housing. My big thing is affordable housing, but affordable housing for all. Get that? Affordable housing for all. Jimmy Kaufman, Brent Eisberner. We're kind of in that whole mold that we believe home ownership is important, but there is a time when you've got to have that rental component, because not everybody either can buy a home or wants to own a home. And I have a buddy of mine that can comfortably afford a home of any value, even in the millions, and he was renting for about 3 years. And it was fun. I mean, we had a great time at his place. But there's always a place. Now, we have a group in here right now from Heyday.
That is correct.
Heyday.
Living your heyday.
I love that part.
I can't take credit for it. Our marketing firm came up with that. So.
Oh, that's all right. You paid
good,
it.
though.
You paid it.
That's true. We did write the check. So.
Now, so that voice you hear right now is Ryan Swingruber.
Bingo.
Wow.
Bingo!
Wow, Bingo's your last
You
name?
did it.
Middle
And
name,
Bingo
actually.
is
I
his
love when
name.
people say to you, "What's your name, by the way?"
Just call him Swing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There you go.
And then also in studio right now is Kristina Hendricks, not related to Jimi Hendrix at all.
Although she's a big fan.
She's a
yeah.
big fan.
We were
Thanks
listening
for
to it in
that.
our car on the way over.
You know, he had to play a guitar upside down, right? So his strings were reversed, by the way.
Why? I didn't know that.
Left-handed guitar, and he
We
played them
digress.
reversed.
Get out! I did not know that. Wow.
I mean,
Interesting.
pretty amazing dude, I tell
Huh.
you.
Who knows what you might learn on the Sun Prairie Real Estate Show, huh?
Right. Now, we've had these folks, well, we've talked with these folks before, had a great conversation on the phone and all that, from car to studio, which I think it was a car.
Yeah, it was a car.
Wasn't it a truck?
On a construction site, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
There might have been a little bit going on in the background.
With a hard
Multitasking.
down?
Yeah, I mean, I was wearing that in a yellow vest.
Those plastic helmets. I mean, we got to talk about that. I mean, a steel I-beam comes and hits that head, it ain't gonna stop it. You know, I'm just saying. But, so this group is fantastic. I really enjoy. I'm really enjoying getting to know them. The project itself is on Bird and Eggery. You've heard about this, and it is a project. It's a small community. It's a neighborhood in its own, and they're rental properties, and it's a different kind of mindset. But one I'd like you to know about, and here, let me tell you why. So you hear me talk every week about home prices and how they're going up, or they are up. And you've also heard me say that if I were a stockbroker and I came to you and I said, hey, your Disney stock has topped out, we need to sell it, you wouldn't hesitate to do that. But when I come to you as your realtor, not your friend and not a member of the family, that comes to you and says, hey, the values are at their peak point, we need to move your house, you always say no. And the reason you say no is two things. One is, I like my interest rate, or where am I going to go? Well, I've had two friends that have sold their houses and gone into rentals. And why? They wanted to capture that high price. Well, that's not a fair way to say it. Yeah, it is. A high price, the highest equity possible was what they were doing. And Heyday offers that kind of opportunity for you if you're here in the Sun Prairie area or greater Sun Prairie area, since we have 1 million listeners. So it gives you an opportunity to do this. So I wanted to get them back in studio and to talk about this because I love the company mission and vision to provide the fastest growing renter populations, millennials and baby boomers, a novel housing product tailored to meet their needs. Welcome to the show.
Oh, thanks for having us again.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I hope he lets you talk too.
She's the local, so yeah, I'm absolutely going to do that.
Oh, that's right. You are local here.
Yeah, we didn't even need to use the GPS over here. I was like, can we
No.
stop at
Wow.
Beans and Cream quick? And boom.
I saw that. Nice
Yeah.
job. Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
good
Yeah,
choice.
no GPS. I was like, you want me to put it in?
Which
No, she
which
knows.
beans and cream, by the way?
The
Do
bake
you
house.
remember? It went to the bakehouse.
Yeah, the
The
bake house,
bakehouse,
yeah.
yeah.
Drive through right there.
Drive through.
Good
She was
choice.
acting all cool and everything.
Yeah.
Well, so talk about the company, Heyday. Where did that come from? Now I know you've got a lot of experience. You have a
Yeah, I mean,
co-founder.
yeah, my partner is actually on the job site right now wearing the hard hat, so
Oh, that's good.
I'm sure
Somebody's
he's.
And the
gotta
vest.
be-
Yeah, somebody's got to be there.
the yellow vest.
I prefer
Yeah.
the studio Beans and Cream, talking about the market, you know, the cushy job. No, I mean, first of all, I appreciated the intro and all the data you guys were talking about because I think it is important. I mean, you know, you do need somebody that's an expert in this stuff to understand where you are in the marketplace because it kind of lends itself to what we're doing. You know, I was looking at your stats, and $400,000 was the average sold price a year ago. And it's interestingly enough, when we underwrote our deal to do the deal, you know, I was looking at my notes. That's where we were, and interest rates were about 3.6. And so you think about that, and we were talking about a couple topics, but
Sure.
where rates are today, you're paying 60% more for a mortgage for the exact same product, right? So that's, you know, that's a difficult proposition for a lot of people, and I
Sure
think
is.
to the demographics that we're talking about, it's twofold, the dichotomy. It's one, somebody that was saving for that house.
Right.
Now they're like, I'm getting less at the same price from a year ago, so I need an alternative. And our alternative at that time, a year ago, the first 3 years was more cost effective compared to the average price of a Sun Prairie home.
Sure.
At $2,200 a month, and if you took a $400,000 house with all the carry costs, taxes, insurance, and then your interest payment, as you guys know, on the amortization curve, you're paying mostly interest on a portion of the front end of that loan. So you're not building any equity. And so for that person that's making that decision, it might be smart for the next 3 years. And now where rates are, it's really 5 years of savings to live in something that we're offering, or an apartment, and save and wait for the market to top out, as you're predicting, or a small recession,
Sure.
or rates to come back, and
Yeah.
then find that home, hopefully with you guys in Sun
Sure.
Prairie, or the person that's downsizing that you're talking about that can capitalize on that what was the word Fannie and Freddie used? Not inflated, swollen equity.
Swollen.
So you could do that and put a little more money in your pocket and then save for comparable housing for the next 4 to 5 years, living with something like ours or renting, you know, somebody else's product in Sun Prairie. But ours is it's a little different, and I appreciate you guys having us on here because we are a rental community. I feel like a lot of the people Kristina's talked to, that the drive-by traffic, look at it and say, are you guys a townhome? Are you a condo, a duplex, or are you just homes? I mean, we are apartment homes is the correct designation. So there's more 2 bedrooms and 3 bedrooms and ones, but we do have ones, and they all have direct access to 2-car garages. So it's a unique product. They're single story, and nobody's living above or below you for the noise factor, but it's a different type of housing, different type of lifestyle, and we're hoping to capture on the people right now that, unfortunately, given where inflation is, interest rates, all the craziness that's going on in the world, that it's a little bit more difficult for that home ownership. Well, you can experience that at our community because that's what we're going for. We're trying to create that type of community that feels like home ownership with all the benefits of rental, you know.
When they first started talking about this, excuse me. So you're considered an institutional investor, basically, in the way of you're going for large numbers of properties, but you're building them. You're not. You don't have any project where you've renovated it, correct?
Correct. We're all ground up, so we haven't bought anything to rehab it and improve it, because I think what's important is the design in itself. I don't think you're going to find many rental communities out there that have a 2-car direct access garage that are, that are low density or on 41 acres.
Sure.
Our site's on 41 acres, so it's as you were commenting on the bike paths that we put in on Bird and Eggery, we have those traversing the whole site. So somebody theoretically could live on the 41 acres. There's a public park going in that we're dedicating to the city, and they never have to leave with their dog, their kid, or go for a walk for exercise. It's well lit, street lights like a traditional single family neighborhood, so it's a different type of community. Where in your conventional apartments, right, it's mostly surface parking, and it's not on 41 acres. I can tell you it's probably 10 to 15, and there's not a lot of green space. So we're hoping that that type of lifestyle is very attractive to residents in Sun Prairie that are looking for something different while they wait to buy a house, or they downsize and cash in and decide what the next move is.
Well, and that downsizing is something else. I mean, if you get a, let's say, you know, we're in a rural setting here. That's an easy word for me. Rural.
Don't do that. No.
So we're in a rural setting, so we have a lot of farm families that are selling the family farm, and they're trying to figure out where they're going to go. What I love about the property is it is a ranch style design. It's kind of barrier free. It is barrier free design also.
That's correct, yeah.
And so it gives a nice option for somebody that's downsizing in our community, where they can sell their Sun Prairie farm and stay here in the community that's not offered in other properties. The thing to keep in mind, folks, and I know that some of the people that are listening right now are going to watch this later, is that we're about 98 to 99% capacity. Occupancy is that high in the rental market that we have in Sun Prairie. And yes, that's why you complain about all the apartments being built. This is a different kind of property than what's going up out in the west side off Main Street and all that, and in the different areas downtown. It's a different kind of property. This is a, don't want to use the word high end, but it's going to be for more, help me out here, Ryan, more affluent or more
Established,
okay. Swollen, no.
No.
Inflated.
Well, it is.
I mean, established, I think, so it's a good point. So I see this all the time, no matter what municipality I'm in, and you're dealing with planning, zoning, and neighbors.
Sure.
They're concerned about apartments, because a lot of times apartment is a negative word. And so I get it. Somebody sees an apartment going up in Sun Prairie, and they see 4 or 5 stories, and those communities are primarily 1 bedroom, and they're small units for affordability. They might not be affordable on a rent per square foot, right? Somebody might be paying $1,600, $1,700, $1,800, but I think neighbors' concern is more density means, you know, more strain on the, you know, services that the city provides, and then also you have a more transient neighbor, because they're a renter by choice, and it's a 1 bedroom, and they're probably going to stay there on average, the data says, for a year and a half, and they go somewhere else, and that might have a bad you know, perception, which the data doesn't really show that. But when you're more mature and established, you you know, you've lived in the community longer. You probably have had a job a little bit longer. You're older in terms of your age, and you're looking for a different type of housing. And I think that's what we're trying to fit. It's just somebody that's a little bit more mature and well established in the community that's looking for an alternative housing option. And so I think even though we're apartments, you bring up a good point, because we're low density, and candidly, with larger units, it's a higher rent, and it's going to be somebody that's just going to be more long-term invested in the community.
So and you're not big box either. You're not stacked on top of each other.
Nope.
And that's beautiful. I mean, I think that's what our somebody my age, I'm not that old, or Laura's age, Laura's age, they want that ranch style design. You have that design at your house.
Are you saying I'm older than you?
Oh God, are you?
No.
I know.
Well,
What are
and
you
it's
saying
zero
right now?
stair. So there's no
Ancient.
stairs at all.
No stairs.
Not even the 1 step to get in.
And there's no basement.
There's no basement.
No basement. Yeah.
Aha, that is key, actually.
I love that idea.
Uh-huh.
But people in the Midwest are like, oh, we gotta have our basements because we got tornadoes.
Storage.
Oh,
No storage.
Tornadoes are gonna come. Where are we gonna go? We're gonna go to the bathroom. Get in the tub.
Get in the tub. Interior wall, like they teach you in school.
That's right.
Yeah,
Well,
first base.
Did you ever? I mean, so I'm a '60s baby though. Do you ever do duck and cover under the wood desk?
Under the desk, yeah.
The wood desk where the you know.
I remember that. Yeah.
Do you know why they had duck and cover? You don't. For nuclear attack. So you're going to hide under a wooden desk because of a nuclear attack.
How does this help? I don't think I understand.
Duck and cover.
Well, Well,
Wasn't
maybe
funny
it
till I
just
got
makes
older.
you feel safer. I don't know.
Well, we
Doesn't
had
do
those
anything.
drills, duck and cover.
Yeah.
We didn't have air conditioning or anything like that. We're lucky we had running water.
You walked uphill both ways
Both
to
ways,
school.
10
I know.
miles.
We know the
Yeah.
drill. Yep.
So I want to talk about this because the pricing on this, because it's really kind of comparable. I was a little surprised. A 1-bedroom unit here, you can get anywhere from like 900, not your place, but 900 to 15. You're going to hit $1,500-$1,600.
Sure, yeah.
Well, you're in that price range, 17 to 2,000.
Yeah, no, I mean, our cheapest 1-bedroom, I think, is
$1,695.
there you go.
Yeah.
That's why we brought her. She's like, she's got
She
spreadsheets
knows
like
it.
you. She's got the
Yeah.
numbers,
I
yeah.
do have the numbers.
So. Yeah, so slightly over a traditional apartment, but a traditional apartment, you're going stairs, elevator, then somebody's living above and below, so you might hear somebody running around in the morning, and in our case, that's not. And also you have a direct access garage, oversized garage in our
Two-car garage,
Yeah, 2-car in the.
which means more storage.
Yeah, one, and then you don't have to go in the basement.
Ooh,
And
sure.
maybe you can duck
That
and cover in the
doesn't
garage
exist.
as well, right?
You could.
Yeah.
Interior wall though, maybe.
I mean, 2 bedrooms, you're looking at 2,600.
I think the cheapest 2-bedroom now is like $2,350.
2330.
Yeah,
You gotta give us
Again,
some
look
numbers,
at
yeah.
her.
But you do have some you're going to have 3 bedrooms. I don't know if you have anything available.
Yeah, we
We
do
do.
actually.
Yeah, we have 2 that are
Interestingly
finished.
enough, our first couple of leases were the 3 bedrooms and then the large 1-bedroom. So those 2-car direct access garage and more space.
So the perception is on this that these are so outrageous because they're out there all by themselves in a little bit of community, and they're actually not. It's right in line with the marketplace. A little bit above, brand new product, a little bit bigger, a wider design, no stairs, no barriers. It's a nice layout, I would say.
Yeah, as you said, you need to know somebody that knows the numbers, right? And so if you look at a Class A, so just something that was built in the last 8 years, apartment complex, and you go and look for a 2-bedroom, top of the market last time I checked in Sun Prairie is roughly $2,200 a month for a small 2-bedroom that's going to have stairs. And I say small, probably about 11 to 1,200 square feet, 1-car direct access garage, so you got to use the stairs. So if we're charging $2,300 to $2,400 for a brand new 2-car direct access garage and you have no stairs, and also, mind you, it's all about square foot, right? You love the
Yeah.
price per square foot.
Yeah.
Our average square foot on 2 bedrooms is between $1,300 and $1,450. Like we're hovering,
Okay.
I think. So it's a larger unit than the average apartment in the area.
Wait, go.
And don't forget, we have the EV chargers in the garages.
Ah,
For what?
Your electric
the
vehicles.
electric cars, silly.
Yeah, we added
Your
that in there.
Tesla. What's that mean? You okay over
He
there?
has a diesel, so a diesel truck. So.
I drive an Ford F-150.
America's best-selling truck. I think they make an electric one now, though.
They do.
Yeah, we can
Yeah.
get
It
one.
doesn't go very far, but you can get one. I think we're about a year or 2 away from those batteries having to be replaced, and I think things will change a little bit, but they've always got to improve that stuff. But yeah.
Sure.
If I take a drive, my dad lives in Kentucky, so for me to go to Kentucky on one charge, no, I'd have to sit and charge somewhere, and have to read a book or something by that time you charge.
Or you could FaceTime your dad,
Oh yeah, thanks on my Droid.
Yeah, good luck with that.
You could do WhatsApp. There's other ways.
Oh, yeah.
Or the
Oh, yeah.
Facebook Messenger. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Your
There's
dad's
that.
already
He
up to
can't
speed on
figure it
that.
out. No, no.
My 90-year-old grandpa did.
He's got problems with technology. I mean, it's like,
Well,
no.
that's pretty normal.
Hey, my computer, we got him a laptop, and he's just struggling with that. I'm like, oh, yeah. But everything's on my desktop. I'm like, yes, but it's also on your laptop. Well, how'd that happen?
I have those same
The
questions. really.
recycle bin.
Oh my God.
My grandpa did that.
So let's talk about this lady that's talking about. Kristina, you're from Sun Prairie?
I'm from the east side of Madison.
Okay,
and
cool.
I moved to Sun Prairie about 11 years ago.
Sweet, you're almost like a lifer.
Mm-hmm.
You're a young lady, so you're a lifer, I tell you. You and me, I've been here over 30 years, so for me, it's almost half my life.
A good half.
I'm 62.
What's that, Lo?
I'll be 62 this month. So
Okay, it's
I've been
out
here
there
half-
now.
So this is
There you
home for
go.
me.
Yeah.
Kentucky kid, but this is home. The accent only comes out when I go home.
It does come out.
Daddy,
There you go.
go see Daddy. So what is it about Sun Prairie that really grabbed your interest when you first moved here? Why'd you move here?
I've been in the property management world and for many, many years, and I did not want to rent when I came back home, and so the first thing was to purchase a home, and I found just this cute little Cape Cod, and
Oh, where?
It's just right off of Bristol Street. So we're in the older community.
Sweet, one-car garage?
One car garage.
I love Cape Cods though. I grew up in one.
Well,
and
she
I
lives
love
over by
them.
you,
They're cute.
but you have a two-car garage
Yeah, and a ranch.
in a ranch, right?
Mhm,
Yeah.
that I won't give up. Sorry, I'm
That
part of
ain't
the problem.
happening.
I know that. Sorry.
You have issues.
Sorry, not sorry.
Pond, it's gotta have a pond and
It has to
two-car
have a
garage
pond,
and a
an
ranch.
awesome deck, a big yard, a garden, awesome neighbors.
Yeah.
I mean, I can't give up any of it.
What's
No.
gonna happen when they all move away?
They won't.
No, they're gonna stay there with you?
Maybe.
Okay, alright.
One day at a time.
You have a kiddo?
I do. He's going to be 6 in September.
What's his name?
Aw.
Charlie.
Charlie?
Charlie.
Significant other?
Yes.
Yeah, wanna say his name?
Chris.
Chris? Wanna say hi to Chris?
Hi, Chris.
Gotta get those in, man, I tell you. Say, hey, I talked about you on the radio, that's all I gotta
Yeah. Oh,
say.
yeah.
There you go.
Yep.
Now, right, was it a UW grad or something?
Oh yeah,
You were-
that's
you
my
were the
partner. Yeah, my
You're
partner.
Georgia Tech.
I went to Georgia Tech, yeah. But I've lived up in Illinois. I know that's not a good thing. I'm not a Bears fan, so.
Where?
don't-
Where in Illinois?
Northwest suburbs, so a place called Barrington. Our
Yeah.
office is in Arlington.
Well, that's where
By
Wintrust,
Crystal Lake
the
and-
Barrington Bank and Trust.
That's right, yeah, yeah.
And I'm from Illinois, so I'm with
Okay.
you. I'm a fib.
Yeah,
Like-
I was worried. I thought that was
I
one of
am
the
a
8
Cubs
words we
fan.
couldn't say, fib. But we can say that?
Can't
Well,
say Bears.
We can't say exactly what it means, but we can say fib.
Yeah.
It's kind of become a thing in Wisconsin,
Well,
I guess.
I'm guilty. That's me. My partner, though, he is a Wisconsin grad, and
Yeah.
loves the state and has a place up in
Green Lake.
Green Lake.
Oh, Green
Well,
Lake.
next to Green Lake. I think
Yeah.
it's called Big Twin.
I don't remember the
There's
name.
good. Yeah, it's a
Yeah,
good
it's one of
suburb.
the smaller.
Yeah.
One of the smaller.
So
ones.
how did you two get together to form this company?
So first we found the site and then we were determining who.
No. You
Oh,
how'd you start your
Josh.
business?
Oh yeah, so we met each other. 2013, fall of 2013. I relocated from New York to the Midwest for a job.
City
And,
or
Wow.
a little bit of both.
Okay.
So my family resides up near Albany, the capital, and I was living in Saratoga Springs, and I worked in Manhattan for a little while, but then I was working up there for a small developer that did projects in like Albany, Rochester, Syracuse,
Okay.
Buffalo. So.
Sweet. I lived in the Ramapo Mountains in Jersey.
Okay.
Yeah, used to commute to my office at Hackensack. I love to say it that way, Hackensack.
Yeah.
People don't understand the East Coast. They just don't get it.
Yeah.
And I tell people, you don't need to rent a car when you go to New York City. Just take the taxi, it's cool. And yes, the subway is fine. Just don't do something stupid.
100%. Well, just don't ride it past like 11 p.m. was the rule when I was.
Well, yeah.
I lived there for 2 years and I took the subway everywhere and walked.
So you guys got together, you came up with this idea, we're just going to start building stuff and rent it off.
Yeah, we spent roughly 8 years together working for a firm that did multifamily across the United States, and I think towards the end of our tenure there, we noticed a need, and it was specifically senior rental housing, not
Sure.
ILAL, just when people want to downsize, where do they go? And in terms of the multifamily, the apartment world, there weren't a lot of options, like we're using the word ranch. That didn't really exist, or universally designed that we're talking about how our community is. And so we saw what we believed to be an opportunity and a niche there. And I think you're seeing it now explode throughout the Sun Belt. There's major home builders. We talked about in the last call, like Toll Brothers of the world,
Oh,
the Hunt
sure.
Constructions. They're building rental housing, like legitimate houses that are detached and ranch style. And it's really been predominant in Phoenix, Scottsdale, Las Vegas, Texas, and so we also saw an opportunity in the Midwest, right? There's not nearly as much supply happening here for that type of housing. There's a supply shortage everywhere, but and my partner was passionate about Madison, and I also believed in the greater Madison area as well in terms of the growth story and just a fantastic lifestyle market. And so then we said, as we talked in the last show, what are the best sub-markets? So surrounding cities, towns, villages to bring a product to, and relatively quickly we identified Sun Prairie just as one of the second fastest growing municipality in the state. Great schools, good people, business, retail, proximity to downtown. So yeah.
What was the first one? What's the first fastest? We were the fastest growing.
I think it's just Madison in general. Yeah. No?
That's our bedroom community.
Yeah.
That's where people work in Sun Prairie. And,
Sure.
and they go home and go to bed and sleep in their little quaint houses in Madison. Yeah.
Is
The bedroom
Verona
peop-
up there too?
Who?
Isn't Verona one of the fastest?
Yeah,
growing
it's
still?
I think Dane County, when you look at the top 10, has 7 of the fastest growing municipalities in the whole state of Wisconsin. So it's pretty remarkable. It's a special area, and then you drive around and you see that. But we so for the business plan, we said Sun Prairie, it was project number 1, and it evolved the product from just being specifically for seniors to being also for this other opportunity for millennials, right, and the home ownership equation people are trying to solve for. And so we thought it was a great opportunity to create a product to, like we said on our website, 2 fastest growing renter demographics, which are baby boomers and millennials. So they need housing, and there's not enough of it. So.
Oh, absolutely. So when you were laying this plan out for the Planning Commission and all that, what was the relationship? How did it go? How was your interaction with the city of Sun Prairie with this plan?
I think it was a learning curve at first, and I think that's the same thing as like while we're on the show talking about it, because people drive by and they're not sure what it is. I mean, they are apartment homes. I mean, they're rentals, and I think that was getting over the stigma of rental, but also explaining why this was different and why the city of Sun Prairie would benefit from having this type of housing type. And actually, it's funny, you were talking at the beginning of the show about how you're trying to text the council during meetings, Stalker and Yokish, and I've had the pleasure to get to know everybody on there, and I said it in the last call. It's pretty remarkable because sometimes you meet public officials and it's difficult to get a forum. It's difficult to have a conversation and advance something. It just needs to be all by the book. And I can honestly say that working with council and staff, planning and zoning staff here in Sun Prairie, it was very collaborative, and so the community's benefited from that, because the result is, I mean, there's a 5-acre public park, and we're putting in a pedestrian bridge that'll connect our community and people to the north if they want to take the bike path to get south down to Creekview and to Buck and Honey's and eventually downtown. So none of that wouldn't have happened if it wasn't for, I mean, I probably met with every council person 3 times, and most of the time it was at Beans and Cream. I don't know why I'm plugging them so much, but that's where the meeting happened.
Because they're awesome.
They are awesome. Yeah. But we would sit there, and it sounds cliche, but we'd have a cup of coffee, and we'd talk about what they wanted, their vision for that area, what the city needed in terms of housing, and we educated them what we were trying to provide. And through that process, Heyday Sun Prairie, came to fruition. And so without their assistance, it wouldn't be a phenomenal place, which it's going to be when it's done. Like all the walkability that exists on that site, all the green space, and just a unique housing option for residents of Sun Prairie, and the park, so that we're putting in there as well.
When I'm talking to people, in fact, I was just on TV recently in Wisconsin Homes and talking about what brings people to Sun Prairie, and it's the library that we're sitting next to.
Sure, it's fantastic.
It's our school district.
Yeah.
It's our parks and our bike paths.
Yeah.
And I say an approachable government, which is Steve Stalker, Brent Iceburner, Bob Yokish, all of the council members. They're approachable. I see them all the time.
Sure.
You can talk to them openly all the time. Now, you may not get the vote or what you want, but they'll at least listen to you. The mayor, Paul Esser, huge cheerleader for Sun Prairie.
Sure.
Does a great
Absolutely,
job.
yeah.
And the administrative staff is so strong, so positive. I don't always agree, as Paul and I talk about, I don't always agree, but at the end of the day, we respect each other's decisions, and that's the type of government we have.
Absolutely.
Then lastly, what makes this city, the reason why people want to come here, is that the people that live here and make up this community. It's approachable. If you break down on the side of the road, I guarantee you somebody's going to stop and help you. If you're a hitchhiker, oh my gosh, I know you're probably going to get picked up. I mean, that's a scary thing in itself. I know, right? Well, your kid was one of them, so.
What? When did this happen?
But it is that type of community. So when you were coming here, I'm thinking about, man, we just got more rentals. I'm going through that rental thing.
Sure.
And I'm a big proponent of rentals.
Yep.
Because I understand the importance of the stability of our communities based on rentals and having people being able to live in the community where they work. But I walked the property and I thought, man, this is fantastic. And I think I told you in the last show, a buddy of mine, Dwayne Sprecher, he took over 2 of the operations for Culver's over in Michigan, and he was just out at Ypsilanti.
Yep.
And it looks just like yours.
Yeah, the Redwood Ypsilanti deal. Yeah, it's a company that we know well, and we've studied and tried to emulate in some capacity. But they've been very successful throughout the Midwest, and all they do are 2-bedroom ranch-style rental homes.
2-car garage.
Yeah, 2-car garage, which is and absolutely, it's a great representation because they have 148 stabilized communities across the Midwest, 9 states. So it's well received and it's great for the community, because your retention on these type of communities are different than a typical apartment. I mean, people stay roughly on an average 3.5 years, and you have 70 to 80% retention. So those are people that are staying in the community, paying into the tax base, and are proud to be there. And so, yeah, all the things that you described about Sun Prairie are spot on. I think you want to be in a community where people are proud to live there and proud of what it represents.
Absolutely. Are you renting already?
Yes, we do have.
So you have properties available to where you can rent, and so how would people find out? Where do they go?
They can go to heydaysp.com. They can fill out a contact form. We're on all of the major advertising sites as well.
Yeah, Zillow, apartments.com, and then, I mean, the best way is the website. What's nice about the website is since we are under construction and we only have probably 15 to 20% of the units delivered, and it'll be fully done next spring, the website offers virtual tours of all the units, which is really, really nice. And nowadays with technology, your dad probably knows about this, but it looks real life. I mean, it really does. I would challenge anybody to look at that, but so you can see every single unit that we're offering, which is only 5.
Sure.
And there's entry-level pricing on there, and there's the site plan map, and it tells you what's available. But the website, heydaysp.com, is the best way. But we're also on social media, Facebook and Instagram, if you're familiar with those things.
And I think you said yesterday, or when we were talking last, that you're also supporting real estate agents that bring people to the property.
Yes, we are.
Really?
Yeah.
Right.
Wow.
100%. So it's called a locator commission/fee. So if you are a real estate agent, if we know any of them out there.
I'm the only one you need to know.
So if William were to stop by and bring somebody that wanted to rent a apartment home from us, he would get a commission of $2,000. So
what?
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
So I think that's
Should
important.
I get my real estate license?
Yes, you can.
You don't do that for lenders.
Yeah.
I'm not going to sell houses.
So
I'm
if
just
you're
gonna refer to you guys.
if you're a real estate agent/broker in Sun Prairie nearby, and you're trying to put somebody somewhere before they buy that house, and they got to park for a year, 2 year, 3 year, yeah, if you bring them by and they tour the property and they sign, you can make some additional money, which.
Why not?
Yeah, why not?
Little
Yeah.
residual.
Yeah.
Can I ask a quick question? How renting in the spring of 2024
Or-
for
They're
people
renting
who
now.
are
We have some
right now available to move in?
Yeah, I was
right
just
now.
saying we'll be completely done spring 2024. Right now, as it stands, we got about 20% of the inventory available. So yeah, and there'll be more coming on. That's the beauty of it. They're homes, right? So as they get done, they'll be available. You don't have to have the
Don't be
whole
afraid.
building done. Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't be afraid of the construction. We have homes.
Come on
ready.
out.
All
Yeah.
right.
Are you
Just
gonna do an
come out
open
and check it
house?
out.
Yes,
The office
absolutely.
is
We're
open.
there.
Are you
know?
doing open houses?
Kristina
like
Hendricks.
a unit? Yeah.
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 We gotta go, guys.
Yeah.
Kristina Hendricks.
Next
Divine
month's
Swingruber.
next week's an open house.
Right.
Yeah.
Next week we will be on site.
That's right. That's the
Heyday.
open house.
Oh, that's it? Okay,
And then we
Yeah.
have a
perfect.
ribbon cutting at 4 o'clock, I think it is, or 5 o'clock.
What day?
Next
Wednesday.
Wednesday.
Next Wednesday,
Next
4
Wed-
o'clock.
So you guys are going
We
to
will
both
be
be there,
live.
right?
Be there or be
Yeah.
square.
Okay, and then I want your dad there. All right.
Yeah.
Oh, good luck with that one. I don't
So,
think
yeah.
so.
Hey, thanks for
you
being
could
here.
FaceTime.
Oh my gosh, no, we're not doing
No?
this.
Okay.
Well, thank you for having us.
You're
It's
welcome.
fantastic to always
coming.
talk to you guys.
Sudbury, hope you enjoyed the show. Got a lot of information, and when you see us out somewhere at Beans and Green, Bucket Honeys, whatever, talk
Big
to us.
house.
Tell us what you liked and what
Full
you're
mile.
looking for.
Full
mile's
mile,
another
yeah,
good one.
I mean, I love that place.
Yeah.
It is good.
Good.
So hey, until next time, we will see you on the radio right back here. Bye, Sun Prairie.
Bye, Sun Prairie.
Bye.
See ya.
See you on Wednesday. If not before, next Wednesday.
Well, I'm up here every week, so either full mile or beans and cream is where I
I'm
work
here
when I'm not on
every
site.
Wow.
I tell you.
Picking good places.
Good choice.
I haven't been to
Why,
Full
we're still
Mile in
on-
a long time, actually.
We're
Really?
still on,
Yeah.
Facebook.
I don't know why.
Just to let you know.
Now's
Bye,
the time
Facebook.
to
Hope you
go because
enjoyed
they
it.
open up the
Seeing their
thing,
faces
right?
Yeah.
in and out
Yeah.
during